BLUELOCK's PXG game is the finale of the Neo Egoist League, one of the biggest matches we've seen so far, with so many different characters and rivals on each side. Canonically being called Isagi's greatest match he's played in. However, even though it's the final game, a lot of people have been discussing how this game is becoming too long. It's been one whole year since the PXG game started, which makes it the longest game in all of BLUELOCK, even beating out the fan favorite Japan U20 match. So a lot of people are talking about how this game is getting too dragged out, it shouldn't be longer than the U20 match, and that this match should have ended a long time ago. And I personally want to talk about this and discuss whether this game is really getting dragged out or if it's not as bad as it seems, as well as people's concerns about this match and why people think it's getting too dragged out, and just my thoughts on the game so far. Alright, let's first talk about what everyone else is talking about, why people think the PXG match is getting dragged. Obviously, in terms of length, this is the longest match in the series. At the time of this recording, we are on chapter 290, so I'm assuming there's only a few chapters left. The score is tied 2-2, so the last goal can be scored in around 3 to 4 chapters. But the PXG game started on chapter 248, so that means 42 chapters have gone by since the start of the match, compared to the U20 Japan match, which started on chapter 113 and ended on chapter 148. That was only 35 chapters. And in terms of real life time, it's been a whole year since the PXG game started. I'm not even exaggerating. The first chapter came out on January 21st of 2024. People were talking about how they grew up, graduated from school, grew a beard, had a child, and this game still hasn't ended, which that was just hilarious to me. So in terms of length, it's obviously the longest match we've seen, and I have to give a reminder about how long this game has actually been going on, because even me myself, I didn't realize this game has been going on for a year until I saw it. Obviously, being on one match for a whole year can make people bored of it, but if you have a lot of good content in the match, even if it's going on for a year, I think people will still enjoy it. Which brings me to the next massive thing I want to talk about, the content of PXG, which is the most important part. And when I mean content, I mean what's actually happening in the match, the goals, the development, the special moments, everything else. A lot of people tend to compare the U20 game to this one, since they're both the biggest and longest matches in the series. The U20 game, which was a whole arc by itself, dedicated to this one big match, was less chapters than 1 out of 4 matches for the Neo Egoist League. As well as the U20 game had 7 goals throughout 35 chapters, whereas the PXG game has had 4 in more chapters. So you can say there was more action in the U20 game. There's a lot of other stuff besides goal that matters though. Going into the PXG game, this was the most hyped match for many different reasons. The first one being the amount of characters in here. There are players we haven't seen since the first selection, second selection, Loki from the World 5, completely new characters, and a bunch of fan favorites. As well as just the rivalries. We had Rin and Isagi, the most infamous one, Kunigami and Shido, which everyone was looking forward to. Maybe we'll find out about the wild card, a mystery since the start of the Neo Egoist League. There was just a lot of things to look forward to and get hyped for. And with so many different characters and rivalries, you'd expect a lot to happen, a lot of different characters getting their own highlight and moments. And when we started the match, it was exactly that. Everyone getting a touch on the ball, Shido scoring the first goal with a new character, Kunigami and Shido finally having their revenge matchup, Isagi unlocking a new weapon, and scoring a goal. It was all very fast-paced, and people were loving this match. However, the content of the match definitely started to slow down towards the later half, and this is really what brought out the PXG being too dragged debate. As the PXG game went on, it focused more on 3 specific characters, Rin, Isagi, and Kaiser, with the rest of the cast not really doing much. One of the most hyped things going into this match was the fact that there was so many players we knew and thought were gonna do something. I already said it with all the new and returning characters and rivalries, and then you look at the side characters, some of them not even appearing in the manga. Like Tokimitsu has genuinely done nothing in this whole match, and it's been going on for a whole year. After Kunigami and Shido dueled, they were pretty much sidelined for the rest of the game, and we never got more from it. We never got the wild card, a complete conversation between the two, anything like that. Now, I'm not saying that nobody but Rin, Isagi, and Kaiser got development. We obviously have gotten a little bit from everyone, like Karasu getting Metavision, showing off the young prodigy Charles, Kiora appearing for the first time, Nanase being ambidextrous. They're obviously side characters, but it's like they have no impact or usefulness in the game compared to Isagi, Rin, and Kaiser. It just sucks because people's expectations and hopes were in these other characters. But I saw a very true comment saying that most characters were a one and done deal. Kiora landed an assist and then disappeared. Shido scored once and then didn't do too much. Nanase got development just for Rin to work solo. Igaguri got subbed in for like 1 minute, faked the foul, and then got subbed off. And this is because Rin, Kaiser, and Isagi are taking the spotlight in terms of development. Now, obviously, they are the main characters, but when the side characters are literally doing one thing and then disappearing, it makes sense why people are bored of it. I'm bringing this up a lot because I think the repetitive cycle of Rin, Kaiser, and Isagi just going back and forth really made people believe this game is quote-unquote dragged out, since we haven't gotten anything new. And it just makes sense, like Isagi will make a play and then Kaiser will get mad and evolve, and then Rin will get mad and evolve at that, and then Isagi will evolve again to counter Rin's evolution, and then all of a sudden they all have Ultra Instinct, a domain expansion, and a new Devil Fruit power. I will say in the most recent chapter they have been turning that around, like PXG splitting up Kaiser and Isagi, Zantetsu doing his first thing in the match, and side characters are finally doing something now. They were just irrelevant for so long, and I think that was a huge point for most people and why people think it's dragged out in the first place. So you can see why people are saying it's getting dragged out. It has literally been a year just for this game, and a lot of characters did get sidelined, leading to only a few characters getting development, and people are getting bored of it at this point. I think there's just a few inherent flaws with the NEL as well. Like the 3-goal rule, you kind of expect who is scoring and not scoring. Like nobody believes that Yukimiya is scoring after getting subbed in for 5 minutes. Tito scored the first goal, so that pretty much cancels him out for the rest of the game to score another. In general, it just makes it very predictable and kind of limited to who is scoring compared to surprising us. I feel like maybe with 5 goals or just a quick time limit, it would make it way more unpredictable on who was going to score and be able to give way more development to other characters. It would also stop the strikers on defense stunt that's happening in the games, allowing for more goals instead of just random blocks happening. Like Isagi single-handedly blocking like 4 shots should not be a thing. The defenders can get more highlight, other strikers like Yukimiya can get more highlight, and the U20 had 7 goals in less chapters, so obviously we're getting less highlight on specific characters because of the amount of goals being lower. I do agree that most of this match has been a ring around the rosy between Kaiser, Rin, and Isagi, and it's only because they are the only players with the possibility of scoring the final goal. I see both sides, like 3 goals makes it clear who is a striker and who is not, but unfortunately it does just kind of make the games predictable, as we see with Rin, Kaiser, and Isagi, the only people that can score. I will say though, I think the development for all of them from the PXG game was very good. Isagi's Awakened State was amazing, seeing Kaiser's backstory and Rin's Destroyer mode getting developed were all amazing moments. The thing about this match is I think it has a really high highs, like those hype moments. Some of the goals in this match are some of the best we've seen in the whole series, and the character development, like for Noel, Noah, Isagi, Rin, and Kaiser, they were all super hype. But it also had a lot of missed opportunities in terms of content. Like how we have not gotten the wild card yet is a mystery to me. In terms of if this game is being too dragged out, I do agree it is a little too extensive, but I also think it's kind of because we're reading week to week. Especially if there is breaks in between the chapter readings. The match has been going on for a year, so it's understandable that people want to move on or see something new. It's kind of hard to be patient with all of that, but I think reading this game back to back would be a way more enjoyable experience because of how many amazing moments there were in this match. It doesn't take away the fact that PXG is a very good game. I'm not saying at all that this match is bad. A lot of people have been just talking about the length of this game and how they think it's been dragged out. No matter what, I trust the writing of Kaneshiro. In no way am I saying they should have done this or should have done that. He's the manga creator for a reason, and I have complete trust in him. This has just been a huge talking topic in the community, so I just wanted to talk about it and know about all of your thoughts as well. Do you think this game is being dragged out? Was there too many missed opportunities? Or do you think it's perfect as it is and that we needed this many chapters? This is a discussion video, so make sure to leave leave all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, make sure to hit the subscribe button for everything Blue Lock. If you made it to the end though, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it as always, and I'll see y'all in the next one.